Got it. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is 11 a.m. on Tuesday, April 18th, 2023, and I'd like to welcome you to today's Blitz session covering updating your website. Thank you all for being here. And as always, for anyone watching this in the future, please be aware that some of this information may have changed. So please feel free to contact our training department with any questions. And lastly, as a reminder, as Kristen will always told you, this is going to be recorded. And so for buffering purposes and your privacy, you may want to turn your camera off. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise your virtual hand or use the chat, and we'll grab our presenter's attention, get them answered right away. And with all that said, welcome, Ms. Kristen Fredericks. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. All right. So today we're going to talk about updating your website. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, here we are on RWT Connect. So this class is actually just going to go into updating the homepage of your website. We have an additional class that'll be scheduled for updating all of your interior pages. Your interior pages are anything except for your homepage. And we've already done the class on all the different layouts that you can use for your website and how to choose that. I'm going to show you where those layouts are again, just so that you can get a refresh on that subject right there. But then we're going to talk about updating your homepage today. All right, so here I am on RWT Connect. And you can see I'm logged into my training account today, Mary Agent. So things might look a little bit different for you on your end. I'm going to go up here to Site Builder. And today we're going to be working in this little section here called Collections. Now, this section contains those three classes I was just talking about. We've already gone over the layouts. I'm going to show you those real quick just for a refresh. Today, we're going to talk about Site Editor. Site Editor is the place that you go to edit your home page only. So that's that front page of your website, www.whateveryournameiS.com or whatever your niche market is.com. That home page is what we're going to talk about today with Site Editor. And then that next we have, which is number 3, is going to be interior pages. Interior pages is going to be anything except for your homepage that's in the website at all. All right, let's take a quick look at those layouts again, just so you can see what we're working with today. All right, I'm going to go into layouts here, and hopefully you had a chance to catch that class on layouts. If you did not, for whatever reason, you can always go back and take a look at the recording of that session. So we have all the different layouts that are in here. We're going to be adjusting these things today that are on our layouts. So just remember that the layout names are just there for inspiration. You do not have to use this picture of Cape Cod, and it does not even have to be waterfront related in order to use that template. For these templates, what we're really looking at is what the content of those templates are, but we're also looking at the layouts. So for example, let's just take that Cape Cod one here at the top. We know that our navigation bar at the very top is going to be white, and our navigation buttons are going to be a darker color. We have that little text area up at the top. Then we have our search bar. Then we have our photo. We call that the hero, by the way. You'll hear me mention that today. And then we have some call outs. If I continue to scroll down, though, you can see where some of these elements are starting to change. So we have a little bit of text on this one, but that search bar is in a different location. Here's that Monterey one where you actually have your logo and text over top of that photo, and then you have some text in the middle and then an additional search bar down there at the bottom. And you can see that all of these different elements move around. And this is part of what we're going to talk about editing today. The other thing that we're going to talk about editing are the things that are available on the individual layouts. So I'm going to scroll over this Oregon Coast one, for example, and this is going to tell us we have the ability to edit a custom background slideshow. We have the ability to have some text we can edit. There are some editable text areas with images, so we can add our own custom images and put some text next to it and link off to it. There's 7 community tiles. We can use those for communities. We can use those for niche markets. We've used them for About Us. We've used them for all sorts of different things. Community tiles just mean that there's a place where we can put a photo, put some text, and then we can go ahead and put a link off to an interior page on that. Did I see a quick hand up there?
Just a quick question. Did you just scroll over that to see what were the editable features?
Yes, I did. So if you just scroll over the top of it, it's going to show you what's available on that site.
Thank you.
All right. So if you keep going down here, you'll notice that lots of different features will change too. So I'm going to just scroll over to South Carolina here, and you're going to be able to see this one doesn't have that background slideshow. So if that's something you'd like, you obviously wouldn't want to use this one. It has a little bit less community tiles, and it has less featured properties. So as you continue to look at these layouts, you'll notice there's lots and lots of different sections. As we get down here toward the bottom, I'm just going to refresh here so you can see all these different templates. You're going to see certain words as well, like enhanced or video or things like that. An enhanced template means that there's usually a blank box where we can put anything. It can be a widget, maybe an HTML widget. It can be extra photos. It's not pre-formatted. And we use those a lot when somebody comes in and has a very customized section that they might need, or they want to say something very specific and they just need an extra box in order to do that. You'll also see some that say video, and that means that they either support a video background, so that image in the back can actually be a video, or it means that you can embed a video, like an introduction video. So it depends on the template, but it'll actually tell you which kind it is when you see that. You'll also see some that say advanced, and those advanced templates also mean that they have maybe more than one editable box where you can put anything you'd like. Those are called advanced editors. So for example, this one has video on it. If I scroll over, it's going to tell me that it has, it doesn't have a video background, but what it does have is the ability to embed a video. So if you've done a great intro video, or if you have a video of a featured property, you could certainly use this one. We have lots and lots of different templates. We do add additional templates about once a quarter, maybe 3 times a year or so. So we are actually due for some new templates here fairly soon over the summer. But as we get down here, you'll also notice we start to get into things. If you want a very this one actually supports up to 14 different community titles. This one actually has, you can do background slideshows, you can do 14 community tiles in here. This one only has 2 community tiles, but it also supports team rosters for those of you who need that. And we also have some that support lots and lots of featured properties. So if you're a person who just likes to have lots of different properties on your homepage, we have templates for that as well. All right, so I just did a quick refresher of those layouts just so you can see kind of what we're looking at editing today. And we're going to go into editing that homepage. So I'm on my test account right now. This is Mary Agent. She has that Gary template that's in there right now. So you'll be able to see where we're going to edit this information here. And this is all going to be in order, so it makes it nice and easy for you. As we look at the top, we're going to be able to choose which color we want in the background. Obviously, I've chosen that Cabernet color that we have here. We can have black, we can have blue, we can have whatever we want. There's a whole color editor here. You can make it match your logo or design or whatever you'd like to do. We're going to be able to edit this text, and there's our search bar. And here's that section I said that we might have that extra box where we might need to say something. This one actually has that extra box in it. Notice that it's just chosen the color that I chose for the whole template will be in here. And as I continue to scroll down, it's just going to go right in order when we go into this editor. It's going to say, what do you want in this box? Choose 2 photos. Tell me what this text is going to say, and where do you want it to go? Same thing with this box here. And then we're going to continue to get down into the bottom, and we'll have the home valuations and different calls to action that we might be able to do. And then, of course, featured properties if this particular template has it. So I'm back in RWT Connect, and I'm going to go to Site Builder, Collections, and instead of going to Layouts, I'm going to go right here to Site Editor. And there's that website that we just had. And you can see that, again, everything's just right in order here. So there's that color, there's that text. And as we continue to scroll down, this looks just like the live website that's up there right now. I do want to let you know that when you go into the system, the first time you ever choose a template, it's going to have some placeholder text in it. We call it lorem ipsum. It looks like any of the romantic languages because that's what it's designed to look like. The site will not let you publish if you have that lorem ipsum still in a box because we don't ever want your sites to look bad. So it's just going to give you a little pop-up warning that says, hey, you still have a box you need to fill in. You can always leave it blank if you need to as well. So everything we're going to do over here to change the website is going to be on the left. And of course, our preview is going to be over here on the right. I want you to notice these 3 little buttons here at the top, though, real quick. This is actually going to give us a preview of what this site will look like in desktop mode and what this site will look like in tablet mode. And again, what this site will look like in mobile mode. So you can start to see if maybe you put too much text in there for mobile. It looks great on desktop, but maybe you've got 5 paragraphs in there and you realize you want to narrow that down to maybe 2 just because it's a little bit too long on mobile. Then you can see what that looks like without ever publishing it. But you can see that everything in here, all of these websites are designed to be mobile responsive. So everything is going to go right down into that mobile version really pretty. All right, let's take a look at a couple of things that we can do to edit our site over here. So I'm going to go to the home page, which is what we're editing right now, and I'm just going to click that. And again, here are those sections. That's why I wanted to show you this live website. We're going to be able to start editing things right in order. So here's our first bar. It's going to say color. So right now I have that Cabernet color chosen, but if I just click on that bar, it's going to let me go ahead and choose any other color. I love this little dropper, by the way. So if you've loaded a really special photo in the back of your website and maybe you want that color bar to match, you can always grab that little dropper. You can drag it over anything. Maybe we go pick up this gold color in the chandeliers here. It's going to pick up that gold for us. And we can go ahead and that'll go ahead and change that color for us. So remember that preview is going to be on the right-hand side. You're going to see those changes instantaneously on that right-hand side. We can always change that color using just the color wheel too. So maybe we want to go ahead and make it black. Maybe we're working in the luxury space and we want something really sharp. And we can always go ahead and change it to black. Do know that right now we do not have the ability to change the logo colors that are in here by default. So for example, this logo is white. So you would obviously not want to choose a color that is very, very, very light or it won't show up. So just be conscious when you're starting to choose your colors that you may have to design it around whatever logo happens to be loaded in there. I'm going to go ahead and leave this one black for today just so we can change it.
Hey, Kristen.
Go ahead.
Quick question. And you may have covered this. I know in some of the e-commerce sites that sometimes you can build, you go ahead and fill out all the information that you see here. And let's say that you want to see how that would look in a different template. Can you go and do that and all of the information that you've already populated will just transfer as it could to a different template? Or would you have to refill everything out?
So the interior pages will all transfer and your navigation bar and all of its contents and also if you've done any kind of customized logo at the top, that will all transfer. Right now, the content on the home page does not.
Okay.
And they are working towards making that happen, but it's a matter of going back to all of the older templates that we've had and making sure that all of the boxes basically are called the same thing as we go forward. Because as you noticed in those templates, things are in different areas, things are different sizes and things like that. So it doesn't all translate.
Sure.
But they're working toward that in the future. They've been working very, very hard. All the new templates that we have are all built to be compatible with each other. And it's a matter of just going back to the other ones before they turn on that feature for us.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome. That being said, if you decide that you want to change your layout or template and you're not sure how to do it, or you're just nervous about it, or you don't want to have to, reformat some of that stuff, you can just go ahead and shoot an email over to web support and just let us know that you want to go to, that you're currently on this template, you've already picked out this other template, and can we help you move your content over to that new template? We're happy to do that for you. Again, just email web support. And that's going to be websupport@rwtown.com, and we'll be happy to help you with that. All right. So we've already addressed the color here. I'm going to go to this left-hand bar again, and I'm going to click hero. Remember I said hero is going to be that word that you're going to see, and that's just going to be for that big background photo and any text that's going to be in that upper area up there. It's called the hero. So we have a couple of options on this particular template. We can change the hero image, so we can change this background. We can, of course, change this text on here. And then it's going to ask us for a mobile hero image. Now, that's an important thing to remember, that your hero image on your desktop can look like this, and it's nice and big and bold and beautiful. But occasionally when you get that same photo, and I think this one is loaded with a different one here, in a mobile version, you might be focused on something else. So you have to remember that in mobile, it's going to focus down onto the very center of that photo, whatever you've chosen. So sometimes if you have like a beautiful kitchen shot as your desktop photo, it's great. But when you get down onto mobile and it has centered down to the very center of that photo, sometimes it's a fruit bowl and a faucet. And that's not necessarily what we want to see, but it looks beautiful in desktop. So it's giving you the opportunity to change out that mobile hero image to make sure that whatever's in the very center is going to look amazing. Sometimes the photos work, sometimes they don't, but it gives you that option on there. So in order to change that image, we're just going to go ahead and click that button. And we're going to see the image editor come up here. Now we have three options on here. The vendor that we work with has a lot of stock photos. They've loaded so many in here. You'll see them for all sorts of different cities. They are a national company. But the nice thing is that some of these city pictures actually work for us as well. This is certainly a home that you would find in our area, even though it's labeled under the Dallas area. So they're going to have local landmarks, but they'll also have some architecture and things like that. It is amazing how much our area actually looks like Jacksonville, Florida and Atlanta, Georgia. Our architecture is about the same. So we use photos from there all the time. And you can go ahead and scroll down. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of images in here. There is a Mid-Atlantic section just for us that'll kind of give an overview of basically Mid-Atlantic architecture and the types of views that we would see for our oceanfront, waterfront, and riverfront properties. But obviously you can see Jacksonville looks very much like our area, especially the beach areas. But you can go ahead and scroll on down. I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but I do want you to know that we also have holidays in here. We have different people. We have different themes. So you can go ahead and change this as often as you would like. And I'll let you guys go through this whenever you get logged in here. The other tabs over here at the top, we also have company images. So these are images that we've loaded as a company. We update this fairly often. So these might be images that you're already seeing in some of our marketing. So if you want it to match maybe a listing presentation, or something like that, these images are loaded in here as well. We have lots of different actual local scenes, so actual Virginia Beach in stuff. We have, here's our Coleman Bridge going over to Gloucester. Of course, we have some Norfolk in here as well. Exterior home photos that actually match our area and architecture that you would see. This is a good opportunity to show you some extra things here. It looks like there's only a few images loaded in this little section here, but if you notice this 191, this is telling us there's 191 photos in this exterior home photo section. So if we go right here to the very bottom, and it's very tiny, you'll see this little button right here that says show more in the very corner right here. And if I click that, it's going to keep loading additional photos. And once I get through this batch, I can hit show more and it'll go ahead and bring in the next batch for me. Once you find a photo that you like, I'm actually just going to go ahead and choose one of these. You can go ahead and click it. You'll see that Cabernet bar come all the way around it. And then you go up to the top here and say select image. Before we move on, though, I do want to show you that you do have the ability to upload your own images in here as well. Just remember that when you add your own image, that make sure you own that image. So it's either come from your photographer or you've taken it yourself or you've purchased the rights to that image. If you don't have rights to that image and we get caught, it is thousands and thousands of dollars, often to the photographer. So just be very, very careful when uploading your own images in here that you do have the rights to those images. And the majority of our photographers in our local area give you the rights to all of your photos and images for your own personal use, and that extends to your website. So just double check though. All right, I'm going to go back to that company image here. I'm still selected here. And there's that porch. And again, it's got that Cabernet bar around it. And I'm going to go ahead and select image. So notice it's right here in my preview. And we'll be able to take a look and go, yes, this looks great in this little section here. Or if we don't like it, we can always just go back to hero image and change it again. So here's where we get to that mobile image. So if I take a look at this photo and I realize that it's going to center in on that door, which actually looks really pretty, we can go ahead and use the same photo. But if we wanted to use something else, we can certainly go in here and choose a different photo that looks really pretty right in the center. So maybe I will go ahead and grab this one. And if you'll notice, that corner of that room is going to be in the center, so it's going to have lots of nice depth in there. So you'll imagine that this little section here is going to be in your mobile image. This is where we can change our text. So this box that pops up is going to be all the different options you have for this particular box. And it's done this way to make sure that everything stays compatible. So you'll notice that there's not big scripty fonts in here and things like that. And it's because that's not going to load on everyone's browser and on everybody's phone. We want to make sure that it always looks good and you have compatibility. So you can always put your name in here. You can put your niche market. You can put whatever you'd like. So Mary Realtor. And we can change that to bold if we'd like to. This is all just pretty standard word processing kind of stuff here. We can always change our font if we'd like to. So maybe we'll change that to Times New Roman instead. We can also italicize, we can move things around. We can actually do some bullet points in here. We can also link off if we need to as well. So just some basic editor stuff in here. Once we're finished with that homepage area, we're going to go ahead and close that box on the hero, and we're going to go down to the next section. So if I just scroll here, it's going to show me that next section, which is the About section. This is the first time you're going to see an advanced page editor. So instead of that small box that you saw in that last hero image where it only had a limited amount of space and a limited amount of things that you could do to it, the page editor is going to say, okay, this is a box where we can do lots and lots of different things, and we're going to give you more advanced tools to be able to do them. So if I click page editor, you're going to notice that it's going to pop up and it's going to give us lots and lots of different options here. So we can put in text, we can put in bullets, we can put in all sorts of fun stuff in here. But you'll notice that we also have the opportunity to put an image in here as well. So if we were talking about maybe our team and we wanted to put a big team photo in here, we could always go and load that into our image library and add that image in here as well. So I'm just going to load this fake agent photo in here. So I've gone to my images. I'm going to select that image. And here we are with my image here. And I can move that text around it a little bit too. We're going to have a class on this advanced page editor, so don't worry. We will show you how to get some more of life out of all of this. But you can see that you can add all sorts of different things in this area. And that area is also going to be expandable. So that box that you saw had like 5 lines of text in it. And if we just continue down, that box is just going to continue to grow. I'm going to go ahead and save that. It's going to load automatically in that area. You can see that right here. And then it's going to start to ask me for a couple of things. This recent favorites and saved searches, this is for people who are logged into your website. They'll be able to go ahead and see that. It's also a call to action to encourage you to register. So this doesn't have anything we can edit on it. This is just a part of the website. So you'll notice there's no equivalent to it over here. So we're going to move on to the large call out here. And this is going to work the same way. So we have that large call out image. It's going to allow us to just go ahead and go into our image editor here, our image gallery, and choose a photo. Notice it's changed over here. And then it's giving us some options of things that we can do. So obviously waterfront homes, this is little smaller text right here. And I've put Virginia Beach. You can put things like homes from, maybe since we're playing in the luxury space here today with this template, maybe we'll go homes from $1 million. And then this area right here is asking us for a link. So we can link off to our website for a save search. Save search for homes that are over $1 million and just land them on a landing page for homes over $1 million. You could make this your how much is your home worth template, and it could go off to your how much is your home worth tool. You can really make it anything that you would like at all. So this would go to one of your interior pages on your site. And of course, it's just going to be a link. It's just going to be an https://maryagent.com/$1 million. I'm just going to pretend I have this one already, $1 million homes. So if anybody clicked that button on my homepage, it's going to take them to my landing page that I've already created that has $1 million homes on it. Same thing for our large call out too. So again, it's just going to have us do the same thing here. We're going to be able to change this text. We're going to be able to change this larger text. And of course, we're going to be able to add a link and change those 2 images if we'd like. And then we're going to get down here to our calls to action. In this particular template, the calls to action, if I click on it, they're going to be from a drop down. We have other templates where the calls to action are completely editable. You'll have 3 separate boxes. You can use them for whatever you would like. And then we have others that have calls to action that are kind of prefixed. And you'll notice I use this example because we have the home valuation tool, which is going to go automatically over to home valuation. We have the property watch tool, which is going to go to the property watch tool, and we have the contact area. But notice that you can leave these text areas blank. If you don't have something to say for whatever reason, just take it out. Everything will kind of go up and you don't have to worry about it. It'll just disappear. It won't look bad. But you do have the option to put in some text if you need to. So you can do something like call anytime. And it does support returns. So we can always put 757-555-1212 or Mary Agent at rwtown.com. So we can always put that in that box as well. I want you to notice that as I'm making these changes, you'll see that it turns yellow for saving the changes and it turns green once it's completely saved. That means we're ready to go. If I got a phone call right now and I had to leave and I needed to take an appointment or whatever I needed to do, everything that I've done here today is saved. The nice thing is it's not live yet. Okay. So I can come back and I can finish this up. I can make additional changes. I can work on this as long as I want to until I hit this giant Cabernet button that says publish home. This is not going to publish to my live website. The whole site is set up this way. So even if you're working on an interior page in the future, so again, those are those content pages, anything other than the homepage, you can leave it and come back to it. I love this feature because we know how busy you are, and you don't always have time to sit down and finish something, and you can always come back to it again without having to have it live and without looking like it's unfinished. I finished this for today, and I'm going to go ahead and hit that publish home button. It's going to ask me if I really want to overwrite the homepage, and I'm going to say yes. Now, remember I said that if you had some extra lorem ipsum text in there, that placeholder text, you would have seen that box pop up that says, hold on a second, you still have a box that you need to fill in, or you could just take the text out. That way you never look bad when it loads on the site here. I'm going to go back to my editor right here, or my live homepage here, and I am going to hit refresh. And there's the site completely live and completely changed already. It is really that easy. It's taken me longer to explain it than it is to actually just go in and make a couple of really quick changes. And you can do this at any time. Once you're into RWT Connect, again, you're just going to go ahead and go to Site Builder, Collections, and then Site Editor. And I'll reload that for you just so you can see what that looks like. And it's going to bring in your most current site. Now, before we leave here, I do want to mention a couple of really quick things. You'll notice this button up here at the top that says past versions. This is going to hold on to a couple of past versions for us, but it's also going to show us the live version that we have now. So this is the one that I just published. Every single time you hit this publish home button, it's going to save an additional version in here. So if you're going back and forth between a couple of templates and you try it and you're like, oof, this is definitely not what I want, you will be able to get back to an older template. Now, this one is actually storing up to 10, but normally it only holds up to 7. But just remember, every single time you hit publish home, it's going to store a new instance of that. So if you're interested in getting back to a website because you're just trying them out, just make sure that you don't go over that threshold and lose that website, because we can't get it back once that completely drops off. So for example, this particular website that I had that was the Cabernet version was from actually October of last year. So if I'm going, I just do not like this black and white template I just made, I just want to go back to what I used to have. If I click that version from October, it's going to say, do you want to make a change to this version? Yes. And again, it's not changing our live site because we still haven't pushed that publish home button, but it is going to bring in my site that I had previously if I like this one better. And again, that works cross template. So if I was moving to a different template and I had an old save version, that my old template would be in there as well. Did anybody have any questions about editing your homepage? Karen.
When you were scrolling over the various different layouts and you had the, it showed which types of things you could customize.
Mm-hmm.
There's something called community tiles. What is that again?
So a community tile, I'll pull one in. And they vary by template, so they can look a little bit different. This one has 7, so let's go ahead and preview this one. So this is my Monterey template here. So this one has community tiles. They're kind of fun. These little twirly things. So these are considered community tiles. So what that means is that it's going to allow you to put a community name or a niche market name. So we've used this for Waterfront. We've used this for Go Off to My Facebook. We've used this for Instagram. We've used it for all sorts of different links. We usually use them for landing pages for different communities and market reports and things like that. So you'll be able to name that community. You'll be able to change the photo in the background, and then you'll be able to tell it where you want to link off. So you can link off to an interior page. You can link off to an external URL if you have one. Whatever it happens to be, you can use these community tiles for different things. This particular one happens to look like this, which is kind of cool in my opinion. Let me see what this one looks like. So this one, I love this template, by the way. So notice that these community tiles are completely different. So this one has a couple of different options in here. And the nice thing is this one has the hide and show feature, which we didn't talk about today. We'll talk about that when we do some interior pages, and we also talked about it in layouts. But say, for example, you don't have 7 communities to put on here. You only have 4. You can always hide the other ones and it'll just kind of mix and match this little mosaic up and make everything fit and look really pretty. But for these community tiles, again, you can use them to go off to landing pages, market reports, neighborhood reports, whatever you want them to do. We've also seen other people use them for meet my team, testimonials, and then have some more communities below it. These are just really, really flexible boxes that you can use for anything. They're designed to use for communities and for landing pages, but really use the template as you want. That's why they're nice and flexible, and that's why the websites, even though they're on templates, look so different.
And do you have some landing pages that are already preset they're all branded for different communities in our region?
We do. So we have something called global pages that are built into the websites. So we have all of the major cities, and we are going to have more of the communities and things like that more toward the summer.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Kristen,
Yes.
I have a question. So this is incredibly easy, and we are very thankful for it. But sometimes it gets a little overwhelming in trying to be creative. And I know in one of your past sessions, you did a phenomenal job of giving a bunch of links for agents to give some perspective on the different types of themes that they were using. What would be the easiest way for agents that are new to this to really just start looking around and saying, you know, I really like that, or I really like the way that looks, or what I could do here? What would be something simple that could work, I guess, across? Does it work across the nation for BHHS agents or internationally, or is this just to our market?
So this particular one is just to our market, and there's a bunch of other very large BHHS companies who also use this platform. This is actually the vendor behind this. You'll hear us mention this from time to time, is called Reliance Network. They're a wonderful company to work with. And they actually have several of the very, very large BHHSs on their platform as well. However, one of the easiest ways, I'm going to stop sharing here real quick just so I can pull up 2 things. Give me 1 second here. Probably one of the easiest ways to kind of take a look at what we've done and what some of your other fellow agents are doing, and as well as some of the things that are available, are to go to 2 different sites here. I'm going to go ahead and reshare here. So the first one that we have will be the website with all the different offices and agents on it. In our various rosters, and again, we're getting ready to change all of this with all of our new offices and new people. If we click on any of the agent rosters, you're actually going to be able to see that there's lots of different links in here for websites. Do go ahead and click through and take a look at what some of the other agents are doing. They're so unique and so different that there's been lots and lots of different templates used in lots and lots of different ways. I would just go through and kind of explore some of these websites that some of these other agents have done, just so you can kind of get a view of what other people are doing. The other thing too is that if you go to Ralston's website, so it's ralstonaudain.com, we use him as a clearinghouse for website essentially. So we do all sorts of different pages that you can have. We do all sorts of different examples. So that community tile we were just talking about, you can always use it for something called a neighborhood report. These are all built into the system here, and we just make them for different communities, neighborhoods, and things like that. They don't have to be for a community. Notice I have a whole city in here for Poquoson. I have something for the Suffolk luxury market. I'm going to look at Poquoson here just to bring it up. But these kind of things are all built into the system, and you can take a look. Ralston's page is also going to show you all the different global pages that are available in the system, different types of lead pages that you can have, all sorts of different tools that are available to you as well. So these are the kind of neighborhood landing pages or community landing pages that we were talking about earlier.
Thank you. And as people go through, if I land on a site and I go, man, I really, really like this one, but I can't seem to find what template that is, we certainly could reach out to you and say, hey, I like this one. What template are they using? Mm-hmm. And okay.
Yeah, awesome. Just go ahead and send a quick email to websupport@bhsstown.com, or it'll soon be websupport@rwtown.com. There's a team behind all of these different websites internally, so we support this internally. And we'll be happy to tell you what template somebody might be using or how they accomplish this certain thing. We certainly will not copy somebody else's template for you.
Sure.
But we can tell you what template they might be using, because that's all in our layouts there. And we can also tell you maybe, we can tell you, hey, it's a custom video that they had created by their photographer, or we can say, oh yeah, this is something we have on hand that you can certainly use for your own website too. So we can let you know whether the content is custom to that particular agent, if it's something they've done, or if it's something that's available to you that we've provided through the company as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Sometimes it's hard to, or overwhelming to get the ball rolling. So that really helps. I appreciate it. Lewis had a question.
Yes, Kristen, I have been doing Reels and TikTok videos.
Mhm.
A lot of response. And do we have a template that will accept that kind of format? It's just so easy that we could update our web pages with, really topical, recent topical information.
So we don't have a template that specifically is formatted for that vertical format of video that contains. However, that's exactly what I would use a box like this for. Now, this particular one happens to be on the hero. I might not necessarily use this template, but we have templates where these boxes are located below the hero, or maybe below a little bit of content or something like that, where you can certainly put the embedded links. So you can embed TikTok videos, you can embed Reels, you can embed all of that kind of thing. And that box, because it does support HTML, will support an embedded video. So you can always put maybe a couple of videos, maybe 2 or 3 right across here, and then go ahead and swap them out whenever you'd like.
Yeah, if it's okay, one day when you get some time, could you walk me through it?
Yeah, can you just shoot a quick email over to web support, and that way we can get you on the calendar.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions out there? Going once, going twice. It never ends. Anything else that you wanted to share, Kristen, before we finish up?
I think that's it. Hopefully everybody attends the next couple of classes on the website. We're just going to continue on down the series of helping to build these out step by step. And we're always, again, happy to help you. Web support at rwtown.com.
Well, thank you, Kristen. And if any of you can join us in just a few minutes, we'll be back with Kristen for our marketing resource, I believe, at 12 noon. And these are incredibly helpful videos. So thank you all again for doing them. It certainly helps us on the Rose and Womble side as we make the transition. So we're very appreciative for it. So thank you all for being here. And we look forward to seeing you back soon.
Thanks.